Okay, you're good.
Okay, how are you doing now?
Okay, with this mighty hammer, I call this meeting to order. Rio's not here, but.
Rio won't be here.
Yep. And do we have any comments from the public regarding items on the closed session agenda?
No.
Nope, seriously.
Okay, we were now recessed to closed session. We ready, Jenny?
Yes, you're right.
Okay. We are back in open session. Welcome, everybody. And to begin, we're going to pledge allegiance to the small flag at the back of the room. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have a motion from the board, please, to approve the agenda?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good. Aye. Still like this. There we go. Okay. Thank you. Input from the public regarding items not on the open session agenda. We have one from Mia.
Is this on? No.
No.
All right, good evening. My name is Mia Del Preti, and I'm a retiree from the school district and a community member. I'm here tonight to inquire about the status of the progress of the AIA school. Over the past 6 months, I've attended multiple board meetings and met with Chris, Lewis, and Jeannie to express my concerns regarding the planning, budget, and opening of the school. In those meetings, I was assured there would be a consistent update provided by the board level to address both my concerns and those shared by other community members. Unfortunately, those updates have not occurred, and with the school year now underway, I feel compelled to publicly address the issue. As I stated previously, I am not the only community member asking for transparency and consistent communication. The opening of a new school is a significant event, and it deserves consistent public updates. It's a responsibility of the superintendent and the board to keep the students, staff, parents, and broader community informed. As a 20+ year veteran of this district and a deeply invested community member, I believe transparency is critical, especially when launching a new school. So far, I do not believe that standard's been met. I respectfully request the superintendent and the board begin providing clear monthly updates on the AIA, including but not limited to the following. Student enrollment. What is the current enrollment for the 25-26 school year? Previous board meetings indicated a minimum of 30 students was needed. Have we met or exceeded that number? Of the enrolled students, how many reside in the district and how many live outside the school district? Special education services. The initial budget did not include a line item for a special education teacher. Are there students with special ed needs? If so, how many students have an IEP? And what services are being provided? What is the cost associated with the special education staffing and support? Staffing and shared resources. Many of the AIA staff appear to be shared with Laguna High School, including the principal, administrative assistant, school counselor, outreach therapist, and campus supervisor. For each shared position, what is the percentage of their time and salary, and how is it allocated to AIA and Laguna High School? How is this reflected in the budget? For the startup and operational costs, what was the actual startup cost to open the school? What are the projected ongoing costs for utilities, transportation, and food services? And finally, recruitment. What is the projected recruitment budget? What is the current recruitment plan? What outreach or marketing has already been done? And what is planned moving forward? Let me be clear, I'm not here to be another box you check. I'm a vested member of this community who has seen firsthand the emotional and educational impact of school closures. I've lived through many of them. And I know how essential it is that we build programs responsibly with transparency, sustainability, and accountability. The budget presented at the start of this initiative did not accurately reflect shared staff or shared spaces.
Mia, I'm sorry, that's your time.
Okay, thank you. I'll email this to the board.
Thank you, Mia. And certainly it will be appropriate for us to give a report on how the school's doing, so we'll get that on the agenda. Special recognition.
Jenny.
Oh,
Jose.
You still have your keys on.
Line retire.
We're here tonight to celebrate Jose, who, while on our tour earlier, was in the quad helping the custodial staff with garbage. So your last day was in August. Although we do appreciate you so much. First of all, I wanted to mention Denise Fisher couldn't be here tonight. It's her birthday, and her family was taking her out on a surprise dinner, and they had to unsurprise her last night when she said she was going to be here. So she sends her deep regrets on and wanted to make sure that I shared tonight with you. These are her words. I do echo them though. Jose Hernandez Soto has been a valued member of our district for the past 9 years. He began his career in 2016 as the custodian at El Molino's campus. Following school consolidation, Jose continued his dedicated service at the Annalee campus until his retirement on August 31st, 2025. August 31st, not today. Throughout his time at both sites, Jose has earned the respect and admiration of staff for his calm, cheerful demeanor and his friendly presence. His positive attitude and warm smile have brightened our days, and he'll be deeply missed in our department, and I know around the Annalee campus as well. Congratulations, Jose, on your retirement. We are truly grateful for your hard work, your commitment over the years. Our department won't be the same without you, but we wish you endless happiness, relaxation, and joy in this next chapter. Don't forget to come back and visit us. You'll always be a part of our school family, and we might need you for some special projects. You know what those are. Thank you again for being such a great champion of our department. One of the friendliest people you will meet on campus, always had a smile, always knew to ask questions and be curious. And so we will certainly miss you, and we're excited for this next chapter. So as a token of our appreciation, we have this beautiful, is it a paperweight? It's very pretty.
Decoration.
It is. Put it on your desk. Remember us. Don't throw it in the air though. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
New employee, you, yeah, okay. All right, and as we welcome an introduction.
Yes, as we say goodbye and thank you to a retiring employee, we also are excited to welcome, by my count here, 28 new employees to the district this year, and it's a fabulous crop of employees. Only a few of them are able to be here with us tonight. I'll quickly read through this in a second and just give you a quick rundown of who those folks are, but I do want to specifically acknowledge the folks that are here. I'm going to ask the site administrators to do so if they're here. But I do want to start our first one you've met before, and it's Jessica Alvera right over there. So Jessica, welcome. She's our communications specialist. And this is And I'll ask Chuck Wade to come on up. I see one of them. Yeah. What's that? I didn't see Johnny. Johnny had mentioned and we got to see him, so. Okay, maybe just. Yeah.
So as I think the board has heard already, this year was a really interesting year for hiring. We had more candidates for each position than I ever thought was possible, an extraordinarily competitive applicant pool. And so we had tremendous talent to choose from. Even so, I would say that Patty Hurtado really stands out. She's somebody that has been on my radar for a long time, a local educator for many years. I think we're super lucky to have her. Patty is teaching our Spanish for Spanish speakers courses as well as Spanish 2. And already she's pitched in various ways on campus. She is lending us some of her students to help sort of serve as a concierge sort of role for some of our multilingual families for back to school night tomorrow. We're super excited about that. Patty was at our dance on Saturday, so she's immediately really been part of the fabric of the school, and we're super grateful. Feel super lucky to have her. Welcome, Patty.
All right, and I'll ask Greg Alexander to come. He's got one of his new employees here.
Yeah, so I want to echo a little bit of what Chuck said. We had really an amazing pool of applications, and we are so super lucky and excited. We have our all-star staff on campus, and so I'll introduce Lika Moy, who's teaching math and science with us at the academy. Lika brings a really, really wide breadth of experience and knowledge, and has really been, just watching Lika build rapport with the students and how creative she is with lessons and teaching them math and science. Really just, we couldn't be luckier to have Lika on staff and our whole staff, so welcome.
All right, and I know that Sarah Zills, our director for the Court Consortium, is not here right now, but one of her new employees is. So Rachel Lumberg is here. Rachel, give her a hand. Rachel is a behavior specialist with the consortium, and not to be confused with the number of behavior assistants that we have. Behavior specialist as a position we didn't have in the consortium previously, or not in the last couple of years. So we're very excited to have her bring her expertise to us. It's a critical role that we floated that position this year, and we're once again, as Chuck and Greg pointed out, really excited to have a great pool of candidates. And from that, we feel very fortunate to have Rachel now as part of our team. So thank you, Rachel. And then just real quickly, since I didn't miss any. Okay, so just so you get a sense of the widespread number of people we have, other than the people that are here tonight, Amy DeWitt is a new paraeducator at the Academy, Erin Donovan, a new behavior assistant at the consortium, Jennifer Fries, a new teacher at Annalee, Liliana Garcia, a new bilingual paraeducator at Annalee, Johnny Glavin, a new social studies teacher at Annalee, Legenia Gonzalez is a new business services clerk in our district office, Ted Griffin, a new science teacher at Annalee. Selena Luna is a new teacher, special ed teacher in the consortium. Daniel Molina, a new custodian too, out at the El Molino campus. And if you noticed, he and another new employee, Ramiro Vasquez Aguirre, grounds custodian too out there. They have that campus looking beautiful. So they're both brand new to us. Cherie Murphy, school nurse with the consortium. Chris Parman, a new grounds custodian too here on the Annalee campus. Mariana Petros, food service worker here at Annalee. Herbert Polk is a new campus supervisor out at the El Molino campus. Jennifer Ponce, behavior assistant with the consortium. Sandy Poulter, a school nurse with the consortium and spending most of the bulk of her assignment on the Annalee campus. Meta Reed, a new school psychologist with the consortium, Laura Roman, a new special ed teacher at Annalee, Cole Smith, a new teacher of a number of subjects at the academy, Summer Spath, a new behavior assistant with the consortium, Ann Spitler Kashuba, a new speech and language pathologist with the consortium, Amy Stromer, also a new speech language pathologist with the consortium, Emily Wagner, a new resource specialist teacher with the consortium, and Kathleen or Katie Wordinger, Annalee grad, and actually a member of the Annalee Hall of Fame I just found on our tour, new special ed teacher here at Annalee. So we are thrilled to have such an amazing group of new staff members to join our already amazing team.
Great. And good job, everyone involved with hiring too. It's a big deal. Welcome all. Okay, we're moving on to the consent calendar. Do we have a?
Yeah, Greg, do you mind introducing?
Oh, our new students joined.
Yeah, so we have our new student board rep for Laguna High School, Royce Klotz, and Royce is a senior this year. And as Royce joined us last year, and so we're super excited to have her as a board member.
Welcome, right. Okay, thanks, Jeannie. Do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Action on items heard in closed session, Sean.
Okay, excuse me. The board took action in closed session under agenda item number D1 to approve a short-term leave of absence for a certified employee from September 23rd to October 16th, 2025. The vote was Buckner, aye, Trinella, aye, Fernandez, aye, Helton, aye, Patira, absent.
Great, thank you, Sean. Okay, reports. Student board representatives, no pressure. If you have anything you'd like to report, Jonah will.
All right, I'll go first. Hello. This year has started strong. We have a lot of school spirit this year.
Get closer to the mic.
Is this better?
Yes.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you.
We had our first home game against Napa. Students packed the stands with the beach team, and the Tigers came away with a big win. It was a really great start to the year. Last Saturday, we had our welcome back dance. It was fun. Students of all grades got to hang out, celebrate together, and our link leaders welcomed freshmen and made them feel included. We have movie night, October 3rd in the quad, and the junior class is getting ready for homecoming. In sports, also, we have girls varsity flag football team, and they just won against Petaluma, which is one of the best teams in the county. So it really showed how strong and dedicated our athletes are. It was a really great win. You ready?
Hi. Today we had our first set of workshops during advisory. Goodwill gave a presentation on job preparation and paid internship opportunities, helping students find real world work experience. The Guerneville Loop program introduced internships in areas like museum curation, coding, and website building. West County Health led an important discussion on consent, and 10,000 Degrees gave some advice and understanding on applying for college financial aid. Student Council Student Council has been working to build school spirit and support our student body. They set the schedule for upcoming Spirit Days, starting with Pajama Day this Friday. We've also launched a new attendance recovery and after-school tutoring program, which takes place every Wednesday after school. This gives students a structured space to catch up on assignments and get academic help and make up for missed attendance. Electives. A new addition to our advisory period is the introduction of enrichment electives. These give students the chance to explore hands-on activities and build new skills. Some students have been working in the makerspace using woodshop tools and laser cutting to design and build wooden boxes and custom engravings. The makerspace has been an awesome resource for Laguna students, and I've been interning there all summer and this start of school, and I'm like helping keep the space organized, but I mostly actually get to learn how to use the tools and equipment they offer, and it's really awesome. Another elective, a group of students is working on a long-term project out in the quad. They're testing the soil and planter boxes and researching drought-resistant plants to design a garden that will eventually provide shade. There's also a crochet elective where students are learning how to crochet. On October 21st, Ms. Malone will take a group of students to the Luther Burbank Center to see a show called Into America. It's a new drama based on real life personal diaries, journals, and historical documents. This show tells the stories of immigrants who came to America. The stories are told through dramatic monologues supported by projected images and videos. This is a meaningful way to explore 400 years of shared history through the voices of people who left their homelands in search of a better life.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Association reports. Julie?
The TV's on. Cool. My name is Julie McClelland. I know better. My name is Julie McClelland. I'm a librarian here at Annalee, and I'm the CSEA chapter president. I just want to give you a quick update. It's been a busy year. It's the start of the school. Our classified employees are in full swing of the year, running and coordinating kind of the backbone of our schools, anywhere from custodial to family engagement to behavior assistants, paraeducators, and everything in between. We're seeing our latest paycheck, the raise, which includes the raise we negotiated with the district, which is so necessary to keep our families afloat in the current economy. So we're really glad for that. So thank you for your approval of that. The behavior assistants are currently in the process of getting their $300 annual $300 stipend towards new scrubs at the local uniform store, which helps protect those employees from airborne bodily fluids and disease. So really, yeah, it would let me know they're getting that going, and excited about that. Our classified employees benefited from the classified school summer assistance program. I know I keep tripping over that statement all day. I've been practicing and I fail. To the tune of $57,344 total in matching funds for the 24-25 school year. That is money straight from the state to our members that we would not have received if we had not participated in that program. So it's crucial that we keep that MOU intact and make sure the district continues to participate year in and year out. There's a little cost of some office work for that, but that's a huge amount of money straight to our employees. So we're really grateful that we are participating in that. Thank you.
Thanks, Julie. Lily, Brian, your report. Okay, thank you. Board member reports. Linda?
I went to the football game Friday night. It was good.
Yeah.
It was exciting. That was crazy. Too many penalties, I'm just gonna say that.
There you go.
Yes. Thank you, Jenny, for our little walkabout this afternoon. We got to tour the small gym, saw the new work that was done there. We walked over to the main gym, saw that work, and then we made a big walk over to the new construction, which is just fantastic. Jenny was able to explain what each of those buildings are going to be and the spaces, and so that was really nice. So thank you, Jenny, so much for that. I also last week had the honor to play a role in reconnecting Laguna with Sebastopol Sunrise Rotary regarding their Student of the Month and Student of the Year program. I was contacted by
the Rotary folks who said, I bet you have a good connection to get us back into Laguna. So I said, yeah, I can do that. So that was really nice. We met with Shannon, and I've kind of left it in their hands. They get to figure out how they're going to make that work. They also want to help with the greenhouse and the garden. That's an area that they all really like, and so that's something they want to help with as well. They're more than willing to support with time and money. So that's, I think, exceptional. And that's my report.
Thank you, Jeannie. I also want to thank Jenny for the walking tour we made of the campus and all the construction. Everywhere you turn, there's something new and shiny, whether it's a duct or an HVAC system or new concrete or gardens that haven't been planted yet. And I was struck last meeting, Lily said that there's been studies that show that there's a link between improvements to the physical capital facility and student outcomes. And I thought that was really interesting, that we're showing commitment and care and beauty in the work that's being done. And it's really awesome. Thank you, Jenny. Superintendent.
Sir, I'll just start off by saying I'm extremely proud of the direction we're headed as a district, and everything seems to be going really well as we start off this new year from what I've observed in reports from the sites. Marketing, Lewis, you talked about the sample that I provided you, the infographic that really kind of depicts the 5 different educational pathways or diploma tracks for our students. Those are at the print. We've got 1,000 in English and 500 on order, and we've got some plans to get those out to all Sonoma County libraries, all partner districts, and utilize it in a variety of different ways. And then we also ordered the pull-up banner that can be used at job fairs or be on display at public board meetings, things of that nature. We're also exploring sponsored content ads with the Press Democrat for $3,000. We get pretty significant marketing exposure with social media add-ons. So we have a contract in the works, and we're going to start that project. So we're really excited to see how that shows up in the media. Jessica's also reached out to, what's the local radio? Just learned of this today.
They do Froggy, KZST, a couple other local radio stations. So it's a media advertising group that works with a couple different radio stations in the area.
Thank you, Jessica. And we'll be meeting with them next week. So we're really excited about better promoting the district and increasing enrollment, attracting and retaining the best high quality staff. We're very excited about our district-wide PD day on Monday. Big shout out to Nicole for continuing to put together customized sessions that are individualized for staff and sites. The board, you got that invitation, so we welcome you to show up and participate and engage. Very excited to welcome Royce as the student board rep from Laguna. I got to have a really nice conversation when she was in her internship capacity in the makerspace. Looking forward to better getting to know you, and we'll be reaching out to set up a meeting so we can talk about your role, and you can ask any questions and really support you in that capacity. And Greg's working on identifying the inaugural student board rep from the academy. So that'll be exciting to have a freshman up here with us in the coming months. Big thanks. I know we recognize Jose Soto, but I also want to just give him another big thanks for his service to the district, and congratulations on his retirement. We have some guests who you'll get to know a little bit tonight, but I've had the pleasure of getting to know and collaborating with Micah and Michelle Sawyer. They reached out to us. They've dedicated their lives to fentanyl awareness. Organization is Micah's Hugs. Reached out with an initiative to try to set a Guinness Book of World Records for most students trained in one training session. We're taking it a step further. We really initiated more around fentanyl awareness last year, and our intention was to come back and do it even bigger this year. So I just can't tell you both how much I really appreciate. It's my favorite board item that I've put together in the last maybe year and a half. Just how close to home this is. I think every time I've talked to somebody, everybody knows somebody in their life, whether it be family or friends, that's fallen victim to this opioid epidemic. Thank you. We met twice. The first was with Chuck to kind of sketch out a plan for how this would look at Annalee High School. Then we met with Greg out at the El Molino campus. And, you know, I don't want to steal that thunder because I'm going to welcome them to the podium when we launch the item and talk more about the plan. The plan's laid out in the board item. But we chose October for obvious reasons to really recognize Micah Sawyer Jr. and have a fentanyl awareness month and day that felt relevant to our local community while there are national days and state days. So anyway, just really happy that they're here tonight. We're fully staffed, limited overages. We're really, really excited about that. No additional FTE needed. So I think that's a testament to our teams, our labor partners, really analyzing student enrollments to meet student interest demands and allocating the appropriate FTE. There were only 2 overages. That's big time for us. And those could have been solved, but we felt that they're in AP microeconomics, those students 3 weeks a month into the semester. You know, we all agreed that we wanted to keep them in that placement so that they could stay on course in their classes. So very excited about that. We kicked off our CSEA informals with Julie and the team. We're looking forward to beginning our informal meetings with WSETA. And again, you know this about my style and approach, fostering positive labor relations is a priority always for our district. I was honored to be a guest presenter or program for the Sebastopol Rotary Club last Friday. Dan and Jessica joined. I presented on the academy mainly, but talked about what we feel is a really good new branding slogan: find your place at West Sonoma County Union High School District. And I think that's the premise of that infographic. And that's something we're really excited about. And that will be how the article's laid out in the Press Democrat or the sponsored content ad. My role as a board member kicked off this week. This morning I sat in your seat, making a motion, making a second, reading through packets. It kicked off on Monday with the SELPA, a Special Education Local Plan Area for the acronyms. And that was really inspiring because while we had business to tend to, we were joined by guests from Wilmar and the Deaf and Hard of Hearing program out of Hidden Valley. Both were presented with exemplar awards, and it was a feel-good moment before we dove into the business. And that was really, really cool to see. Big thanks to Anita Sanduina for helping me set up our new Superintendent's Advisory Committee, which will kick off in October. She's organized 9-10 students. She wants to have some backups, representing, you know, a variety of different places on campus and positions and maybe, you know, interests. So I really want to connect more with students. We plan to also do that on the El Molino campus, so Greg will be in touch as to what that could look like. They're going to be quarterly meetings. So I'm excited to better get to know the students and really give them prompts and just sit back and listen and then take that input back to the business that we conduct to ensure that students have the best educational experience possible. So as we head into middle September, the year's flying by, the hard work continues, but I am so grateful for our talented district leadership team and all site-based staff. I tell people countywide when I'm at L40, I am the luckiest superintendent.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, moving on to education services. First item is a public hearing on sufficiency and insufficiency of instructional materials.
So you open the public hearing.
Ah, thank you.
Got the time.
Okay, so we are opening a public hearing.
If there's anybody that wants to make any comments about it,
There, nothing on this item.
but you still need to ask them. It's a public hearing.
Does anybody have any comments or questions about the public hearing item number 1?
Tell us what the public hearing item is.
It's an annual item for sufficiency of curriculum. So this is an annual item.
Okay, I'm gonna order some new books here in a minute because I don't have quite enough for my AP classes, but that's what I've got.
Okay, is there anybody
This
that's
public hearing, and then we go to the item.
Yeah, close the public hearing, then you can go to the next item.
Oh, that's it? Okay,
Yes.
end of the public hearing. Moving on to consideration of approval of resolution number 3, sufficiency or insufficiency of instructional materials.
Yeah, so our
Also, just a resolution.
it's a resolution which will be a roll call vote. I'll just speak on this a little bit. I think that we've really done a good job of budgeting for instructional materials. There's been nothing that we've had to say no to. Our site administrators are working closely with department chairs to ensure that we have the textbooks that our students need. I know that Chuck identified a really good thing is that some courses were expanding in enrollments. We needed to order some more. We're constantly looking at our novels and making sure that we have surplus and extras, because those novels don't always come back. But yeah, I mean, again, site administrators, department chairs, whatever they need, they know where to go. And we've got the budget to ensure that we've got high quality instruction materials.
So we need.
Need a motion, a second?
Yes. We have a motion to approve resolution number 3.
So moved.
And a second.
I'll second.
Any questions or discussion? Have to do a roll call because it's a resolution. Jessica, you're gonna call the roll, okay?
Trustee Helton,
Aye.
trustee Trinella,
Aye.
trustee Fernandez,
Aye.
and trustee Buckner.
Aye. Awesome, thank you. Report on annual school site discipline reports, just a report. Is that?
Yeah, so we've got some attachments there. Chuck and Greg are here. I know Chuck's talking with Paige right now. What I'll say before I ask Greg to come up and just give a high level overview is that we've done a tremendous job of ensuring that, we have alternative measures to punitive discipline when appropriate. And I talked about this, in my LCAP presentation, that the data metrics on the dashboard have made significant improvements over the years. It's a testament to creating a more restorative culture, but it's also a testament to evolving educational program to ensure that there's something that is of the interest of students. And I think that's something we're continuing to look at. I think that when students feel as though the courses that they're enrolled in and they have opportunities and they have adults that they can talk to, the systems are in place, they're more likely to be engaged in their classes and less likely to have disciplinary issues. And I know all of the different work that Greg's done to create a vibe on campus that really supports students, meets them where they are. And again, the restorative work led by the administration and Anita Sanduina at Annalee High School, but they're taking it a step further, bringing in Link Crew, really looking at how we onboard freshmen. I think the new facilities have kept kids from going off campus. Shout out to Gianna. She's been down at Safeway every day. She's like a celebrity amongst the local shoppers. And I'm waiting for a shout out on the Nextdoor app because it's really made a difference. So really appreciate that. Chuck said it's been invaluable. And I do look forward to popping over there and hanging out with Gianna at lunch. But I think kids are getting the message, right? And so anyway, I just thought you guys would appreciate that. Greg, if you don't mind. Yeah.
So I think, you guys have the numbers there in front of you, so I won't dive too far into those, but just some thoughts in terms of, I think going into my 4th year this year, we've seen what really feels like decreasing discipline every single year. And I just feel like it's really a testament to the support systems that we've been able to put in place. The way we communicate as a staff, we're able to get ahead of a lot of things. And so just some of those things, West County Health, and we're able to utilize them in, certain situations where suspension diversion is appropriate. And they've been incredible with that. But also with all of their resources with substance use liaisons, outreach therapists, Chris Vanstone, our outreach therapist, they're having those meetings multiple times a week, West County Health off campus, going to homes, doing whatever is necessary. And so there's very few times I feel like we're surprised by things. Each staff meeting, we talk about students in depth. And so I think some of these numbers, although, we'd like them to always be better, sometimes these things are outside of our control, but I think we've done a really good job of just making sure we're involved with our students, they know we're there, and we're able to, meet them where they're at. So, with that said, we had, I think 8 suspensions last year. It's over 26 days. A number of those were things that occurred outside of campus. So, I don't think we've had don't quote me, I don't think we've had a physical fight on campus in 2 years, things like that. So what's happening on campus, for from where I sit, feels pretty good. So
Thank you, Greg.
Great, thanks, Greg.
Welcome, Chuck.
Somewhat similar, I think, to what Greg reported. There's nothing super remarkable in our numbers. In fact, a little incrementally better than the previous year, which was incrementally better than the year before. I think the story that's not told by that is that we are working really hard to tighten up on a number of things. I was distracted, but I think I heard Chris talking a little bit about some of the work that the vice principals are doing, which is tremendous. Gianna in particular is spending a lot of social capital and just all out effort going down the Safeway during brunch and lunch and repairing, I think, some relationships with our community. It's a massive investment of personnel time, and it's been successful. I want to give her a lot of credit too for much of the work on campus around our bathrooms, which when we arrived, I think a couple years ago, were not where we'd want them to be. I think they're you know, there's still plenty of room for improvement, but we do have a comprehensive system for checking on them and knowing which ones need checking on. And so I think given that that's a super hotspot, those numbers are more manageable and actually reflect you know, a little more attention to student behavior around campus. We've implemented a zero tolerance policy around hate speech, which I will credit Anita Sanduina for doing a lot of the work around. We're working with staff to identify instances of that. We're taking it very seriously. There's a lot of education for young people around that in terms of the impact versus the intent of some of the things that they may be saying casually. And we're taking that seriously and working hard on it. So the vice principals really are on the front line of this. What we haven't done that we are working on right now is to break this down even further. You'll see some very high level demographics reflected in this report. We're actually trying to go as deep as we can with our student information system now to learn you know, who is over and underrepresented in this report and what we need to do about that. So yeah, with that, I think you have the report. We're incrementally better, and yet I think we are actually tightening up quite a bit in a lot of ways. Greg mentioned already the help that we get from Sheila Richmond and our Wellness Center folks. We do have a very successful suspension diversion system, and I think those folks, the outreach therapists, the substance abuse liaisons and others have been a really important part of that, where we can identify things that are happening, you know, to students that are chronic problems that they have that are a little bit outside of just a discipline issue, that they need a little bit of help in order to not be repeat offenders. So thanks.
Maybe some people.
Go ahead, Jean.
So thank you guys very much for this report. I do have a couple of final comments and questions. I was pleased to see the amount of alcohol use at Annalee drop significantly. I think there was one alcohol possession, not even under the influence, just possession, and that was a freshman student. So that's pretty interesting. I also was pleased to hear just what you said about the suspension diversion, because for me, that's the goal, I think, is that we try to avoid these suspensions as much as we can, because we know that suspensions are just days lost in the seats and it's money lost. Has there ever been any discussion amongst the sites and or even with the administration about a in-school suspension program? Is that something we would ever discuss? I don't know. I just am thinking maybe that's an alternative that
And
we,
the challenges with that would be staffing, you know, but it's definitely something that some schools have had success with. I think we want those students to be in the instructional environment. So, but Jeannie, that's definitely something for us to discuss and look into.
I do have a question. What's the difference in this report where it talks about assault and battery versus fighting? Can somebody give me the difference of what that is? I mean, if somebody got hurt, obviously, but that wasn't a fight, is that what it is, or?
So mutual combat.
Yeah.
is sort of a
Okay.
fight.
There seemed to be a fair bit of that. I mean, we're talking for the number of kids we had, probably not a lot, but when you look at the greater scheme of this report, there were 13 issues of assault and battery, which is a little eye-opening to me. It's, I mean, something I know we don't want to see. So that was a concern for me. Also, the number of students with drug possession, again, not under the influence, which is maybe better. I don't know. But there were, 12% of this report was of that. I'm really pleased that we're gonna have Micah and Michelle working on this issue, because hopefully it can hit some kids, and then also the suspension diversion program. I think it's probably some kids with some problems, maybe, I don't know. Also, is there any way for us to know how many students Anita has worked with that basically have avoided suspensions because she's done some sort of diversion with them? Can we find that out? Yeah. I just think it would be really good information, and is it making a difference?
Yeah, Anita does prepare a report of some of the impact of her work. Most of her work, honestly, is more preventative than suspension diversion. We do have her work on reentry and resolving conflict between students using restorative methods. Suspension diversion work, much of it actually happens out of the wellness center staff.
Okay.
So certainly with respect to substance use, there's a little bit of anger stuff, but much of the suspension diversion work actually happens there. So Anita's work is really more preventative.
Okay. All right. Those are my questions. Oh, Laguna, good to see a decrease in the tobacco issue. I think you had one student that was dealing with the tobacco issue. Maybe you had too many under the influence of drugs. So something that I know, again, I think Micah and Michelle's program might actually help a little with that. So,
That's that one.
yeah.
I just wanted to tack on to a little on about Anita and the work that she's done. And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I can tell you we saw a major cultural shift last year in students actively seeking restorative conversations with their peers. And that has continued this year, which is really, really cool to see. And so I just wanted to note that and the amazing work that she's doing. And, Anita's on our campus, every so often. And so I think the effectiveness and impact of her work, or as often as she's at our site, is really, really remarkable. So I just want to give her a shout out.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Good to hear.
It was great. It's really encouraging to hear these reports. One piece of it is the hate speech and DEI and all that, and we started that a couple of years ago and hired Anita, and at the time we said it was a 10-year project because we're changing culture and norms, and it's working. It's really exciting. We have a long way to go, but we're in the news, we're aware that we're not getting the kind of support from the feeder schools that we're hoping to maybe encourage, so that as the kids come up into high school, they have more of these norms, but we're doing a good job here and really, really happy about it. Thank you. Anything else on this? Okay, moving on.
Yep.
So we are on second reading of recommended revisions from CSEA, updates for policies and regulations.
I move we approve the second reading of the CSBA recommended policy revisions.
Second.
Second.
Any comments? Everyone had it attached. It's incredibly bureaucratic, but did everybody? All in favor? Aye. Students? Thank you. Okay. All right, consideration of approval of resolution for 25-26 fentanyl awareness month. So first of all, we'll have a motion.
I would be honored to make a motion on this item. Consideration of approval of resolution number 4, September 25-26 fentanyl awareness month.
Thank you.
I'm gonna add my honor on that one for the second.
Thank you. Okay, do we have a presentation?
Yeah, I'd like to welcome Micah and Michelle to the podium. As I started working on the resolution and pulling examples from Santa Cruz County Office of Education and Santa Clara County Office of Education, I called Michelle and I thought about what you presented when you were a member of the Student Unity Network before you became a trustee. And then when you became a trustee, we essentially adopted the resolution that was drafted by that initiative of those folks. So I thought that it would be really, really cool, being that they're the experts in this field, and the connection and just my appreciation and gratitude for you reaching out to us. So they shared in the creation of this resolution, and I will turn the floor over to Micah and Michelle.
Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate sort of the relationship that we've built with you and Chuck and the West County schools here, and I'm really sort of proud about what we're trying to accomplish and what we're setting up to do here. My name is Micah Sliver, and I am the founder and president of Micah's Hugs. For those that don't know, Micah's Hugs is a nonprofit organization that we started shortly after we lost my son to fentanyl poisoning 6 years ago now. It's been, and Micah and Linda were very, very close. They spent a lot of time together on the football field. So Micah was sort of a star athlete here at Annalee High School. He was captain of the football team for numerous years, and we like to tell the story about him in that way. He won the weightlifting competition. It sort of helps to break the stigma about what people think a drug user or somebody that gets involved with fentanyl or dies from fentanyl might be, to make sure people understand that it can be anybody. It can be your child. Micah at the same time was hiding the fact that he was using heroin while he was doing all these amazing, incredible things. So again, that's part of what we like. I'd like to tell a little bit about, just because it sort of shows part of this mission that we're actually accomplishing here somewhat right now. And yesterday we were actually acknowledged by the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors with a resolution honoring the work that we've done in Sonoma County. And Linda Hopkins actually presented this to us, and she actually broke down crying, which hit me really, really hard while she was presenting this to us. And she said something that meant a lot to me. And she said, not only have you guys, we've distributed about 28,000 doses of Narcan into the county. I believe we just did the numbers on it today, which sort of mean if you take the average of what the state says, how many doses you distribute into per lives saved, it's somewhere, what did we figure, around about 1,800 lives possibly saved by that many doses of Narcan that's out in the community right now. We actually have an amazing story of an Annalee student here at Annalee, a 16-year-old student who came to one of the trainings that we did here at Annalee, and his mom had Narcan in her car. He was in the parking lot in Santa Rosa and came across a pregnant woman overdosing on fentanyl, and he had the wherewithal to run to the car and get that Narcan and resuscitate this woman, this pregnant lady, from one of the trainings that we did here at Annalee High School. So it's really making a difference. But Lynn Hopkins actually said, like, I don't know if you guys realize it, but the work that you have done, you have changed the feeling of our community. You've changed the way people think and the stigma that's happening around things in our community. And she said, you actually changed policy, whether you know it or not, the policies and many of our areas have changed because of the work that you guys have done. And that really meant a lot to me. And that's where I want to really continue doing this. And I'm proud of the partnership that we have with Annalee and with West County Schools. And I really, really believe what we're doing could be something that could really spark off a much bigger, a bigger movement. Up until recently, we've had a hard time getting into a lot of schools. Sometimes schools will let us come do presentations. We do a lot of presentations at all sorts of schools in the area, but it's only been until recently that these schools have actually allowed us to give out harm reduction tools to students at the schools. We've already been in contact with other schools. Healdsburg High School that's very interested in what we're doing here and wants to know how they can jump in. The last time we were at Healdsburg High School, they would not allow us to actually distribute Narcan. And now I believe because of the work that we're doing here and the partnership that we have going on, Healdsburg is now really pushing to change that policy so they can give out Narcan at their school. I think this can really be sort of a flagship program that we can push out into other schools in the district, the community, and further. So I'm really, really, really happy about this partnership that we have going on here. You're blank there. Anyway, this is really heartwarming to me, and this has been our goal for quite a while, to get into schools and to be able to work with the kids at a younger and younger age. We've been doing colleges for a little while now, but this is really, we've just started to be able to get into high schools the way we've been getting into high schools. And I also know it's hard to understand. When Micah passed away, I got very involved in talking to the community. I got very involved in talking to the other kids. We actually did sort of a documentary where we interviewed a lot of the other kids. And a lot of these other kids opened up to me in an amazing way that I never expected them to, because of, I guess because of the connection that we had with my son and the respect that they had for that. And the information that I found, it was really sort of a bit scary. And I don't think we understand how much there was a lot of fentanyl at Annalee. It's, you may not see it, you may not know it, but it was here, at least then. I knew of numerous cases of fentanyl that was here at the school. I don't think at that point kids really knew what it was. They were starting to learn what it was, and hopefully the education that we're doing is starting to drop those numbers. I don't know if you know, but it's in 2023. The numbers are starting to come down quite a bit in the opiate overdose deaths. They're still outrageously high, much higher than they should be, but they are coming down. So I really appreciate this. I appreciate that we're looking at doing Fentanyl Awareness Month in October. Chris and Chuck had the idea that we make Fentanyl Awareness Day October 16th, which was Micah's birthday, which was really heartwarming to me as well. So I think that this is going to really keep pushing this awareness thing, and the way that we're dropping numbers and bringing awareness to the community and reducing the stigma around what's happening and making it something that people can talk about. I was at we were in New York City 2 weeks ago at a fentanyl awareness event that we were at. And one of the speakers at the fentanyl awareness event said something that meant a lot to me. And he was talking about sort of Alcoholics Anonymous. And he said, it's time for most of us to stop being anonymous. It's time for us to start talking about this and stop hiding the problem. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, you guys, for being here.
So just to recap the schedule.
Sorry.
On October 15th, they will have two trainings that they will facilitate on the El Molino campus, one for Luna and one for the Academy. On October 16th, which is recognized as Fentanyl Awareness Day, we're planning to open the Paxton Theater for a community-wide event. We want to invite all of our partner districts, folks, and hope that they share that information with their communities. We're hoping that Dale will promote it in the Sebastopol Times. We'll find other avenues to push that message out. And that's about a month away. So we're really excited to kick off that communication and outreach for that particular event. And then the Annalee training will happen on October 17th, Friday. And it's being integrated into a rally day schedule. So Chuck's worked with Jared Brown, and we're really hoping we can see Annalee land in the Guinness Book of World Records. So just thank you very much. Really looking forward to continuing this partnership over the years. And I think it really helped us to hone in on a goal we set for the district last year. And as soon as I saw your email, that's where my head went. So thank you.
Can I just add that I built Dale Doherty's house. And he actually has done an hour-long podcast with me on the same subject, so I know where his mind is, and I'd be happy to contact him.
Thank you. That'd be great.
Could you make sure you let us know the times of these events so that we could
All the
participate?
messaging will go out next week via Parent Square to our community. That same message will be shared with all the partner districts. I hope they push it out through their messaging system. And then I think we got an in with Dale. So, and then this is something that Jessica's gonna discuss more as to how we do that. And I think this can dovetail with our conversation with the radio folks. So anyway, just very, very excited about this. It's a roll call.
All right, roll call vote.
Trustee Helton,
Aye.
trustee Trinella,
Aye.
trustee Fernandez,
Aye.
trustee Buckner.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you guys
Yeah.
so much for being here.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you for having us.
All right, moving on to business services, consideration of approval of the 24-25 unaudited actuals. So we need a motion.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second.
Andrew.
All right, thank you. As Jenny gets that pulled up, we're looking at the unaudited actuals for fiscal year 2025 that ended June 30th. We'll just jump right into that next slide there. Sorry. There. So as we come to a close and where we looked, taking our estimated actuals that were part of the budget that we adopted in June for this fiscal year, the estimated actuals there, and then we went through all the motions and closing the books and really looking and making any closing adjustments and further entries to close out the fiscal year 25. In doing that, revenues did come in higher at $520,000. And we'll go through and look at kind of what those items were. And then expenditures came in under budget, almost $1.1 million. And we'll look at what those are as well. The district continues to meet its 3% economic reserve for uncertainty, the mandatory set aside in the budget for economic uncertainty. So as we look at the end of the fiscal year, the unappropriated amount, I don't have the dollar amount there, was $745,000, 7 million, almost 7.5 million. And then bringing that the total fund balance, so it came into just over 12 million, almost 12.4 million. So tonight, recommend that the district adopt, the board of trustees adopt the unaudited actuals. So as we go into the next slide and really looking at the revenues and how that came in, the local control funding formula came in a little bit higher, almost $22,000, and that was an increase in the special ed property tax pass through. And so as they adjust the property tax pass through, other things in special ed get adjusted as well. So that, and then federal revenue making that decrease almost $3,000 under, but that was really in looking at Title I funds that did not get spent, and then the We Can Work program, which is a student work program that's federally funded, a reimbursement program that we really employ a good amount of students, almost 70 students that we run through payroll on supplemental payroll. So it's pretty amazing. Along with the workability program. State revenues, we had an increase, and that was due to state lottery. There's a dishwasher grant that was received, that those revenues had been received towards the end of the year that will get spent this year. The classified summer assistance program, that revenue, once we do determine how much that is and make that payout, then we do make that revenue, book that revenue. And then at the other local revenue is really looking at the increase in earned interest that for fourth quarter that does not get received until the end of June. And we do not book interest until it actually really is received, because we don't know what that, we can estimate what the revenue is, but once it's received, that's when we actually do book that. And then we look at, there's some additional parcel tax revenue that came in And then the third party billing to where we provide services for facility use for like custodial or theater management, that those things have happened. And then we actually booked that. And then the donations and that come in that way. And then the capacity grant, which is helping to fund wellness this year. That was a grant from SCO that money was received at the end of the year. That's getting spent this year. So that was there. As we look at the expenditures and kind of go down and looking at the reduction to where we had the estimates to what we actually spent within certificated salaries, there was a reduction of about $106,000. And really that would have been less as we look at the stipend positions for like the athletic stipends and coaches, where they're booked as certificated, they're actually filled by classified. So as that payroll happens in June, it's just that swap that needs to happen. So you see that difference. And then there's actually some savings to where we're looking at booking substitute teachers and booking those where we book probably around 7 per FTE, 7 days. And so not all those days got used. So there's the savings within there. And then classified, again, there was some the summer assistance program that was booked and paid out. And so that swap. So it's kind of just kind of flat right there. Employee benefits, that changes with what salaries get paid out. Books and supplies, as we look, there's a reduction from estimated to actually what was spent. Those are not, the budgets weren't fully expended, really around within the administration and operational areas. And then the extended learning opportunities program, that is funding received for elementary school students, because the consortium is, elementary received $50,000. They did not spend all of the extended learning opportunities program funding. So there is that reduction there. The CTEIG has carryover that will carry over into this year. The Strong Workforce Program grants had additional funds that carried over. So they were all budgeted and booked that they were going to purchase this. Certain things they didn't get purchased, they're carrying forward. So there's those reductions from estimated to unaudited to what we actually spent. Service operations, again, some of that was around the strong workforce and what they were budgeting for services to spend that will carry over into this current fiscal year 26. And then again, maintenance operations type of services that were budgeted but not expensed. In capital outlay, we see the reduction to what was actually spent, and that was due to the CalShape program coming in lower expenses. They had provided us a grant for X amount, and then funded only X amount. So we had to shift those dollars back into the bond fund. So it looks like there was a reduction in expenditures, but it was a reimbursement program shift. Other outgoes really looks around the reduction in special ed costs of what SCO was charging and the number of students that were there. So that's really money that gets transferred out to SCO. So that we had budgeted 81 and only 50 was spent. Direct support costs were really around food service, and it's kind of the indirect cost. So whatever they spend, and they have a cap of their indirect costs that we can charge. And so they had a little less reduction or a little less expenditure. So we had about $1,000 less in that recoup of money. So overall, the excess deficiency that we see, there was a reduction. We had planned on almost 3.2 million, and we're at 1.6 when we closed the books. As we go then looking at the ending fund balance and how this impacts everything, that 1.6 deficiency or deficit spending, if you will, and then the transfer out of $65,000 for routine restricted maintenance to help fund that, and then overall 1.5 and a decrease in ending fund balance. And we see that into the next slide to where we started the year with almost 13.9 million. Deficit spending 1.5. We have a new ending fund balance of almost 12.4 million. And then as we look at the components and what makes up that almost $12.4 million, we set aside the 9,000 in revolving cash. That's cash sitting at Exchange Bank. We have some prepaid expenses. This is our third year. We have HAPRA, another technology that we have paid, and that's a 3-year. And this is the third year, so that money will be zeroed out here shortly when I start working on fiscal year 26. So our 3% reserve is a 1.1, almost $1.1 million there. The restricted fund balance, these are the restricted programs. We have almost $3.1 million in restricted program fund balances, and that on page 7, you can see what programs make up that $3 million. And then the local control funding formula supplemental, there was $56,000, almost $57,000 left over from last year that will roll over into this year that has already been allocated and budgeted to be spent. Then we have a set aside for textbooks and then set aside for special ed. And then that's leaving an unappropriated amount of almost $7.5 million. Page 7, we talked about that they reach ending fund balance for restricted. And then we have a unearned revenue on page 8 of programs to where we have the cash, but because we haven't spent it, we need to set that aside, and it doesn't show up in current year revenue or in last year's revenue. It's where expenses and revenue need to equal, and that money sits aside on the in the balance sheets. So as we move forward as to what's next, we start the whole budget cycle again, continue to monthly review the budgets. First interim will be here quickly, the end of October 31st. We have first interim in looking at those expenditures for the year and adjusting budgets to kind of actuals for staffing and looking at other expenditures and getting those updates. Present that to the board on the December 10th board meeting, and then second interim will be in March. And budget, just continue to paint our. I love that scenario. Paint the Golden Gate Bridge. Auditors will be here in October to finish out the 24-25 school year and review the expenditures and revenue and provide our audit in January. So with that, any questions?
Wow. Yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
Questions, anybody? All right. All those in favor of approving the unaudited actuals, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, Andrew.
All right. You want to make a motion?
Yes. Okay, so the next one is a resolution, but we need a motion.
I move that we approve resolution number 5 in the matter of adopting the GAN limit.
Second. Second, Sean, thank you.
All right, and this one we do not need a roll call vote. It's just how many ayes, noes, and absence that we have. So the GAN limit is a proposition from 1979 that says you can only spend X amount of dollars, and if you go over the GAN limit, you need to make adjustments to that limit, and then the state does some magic work and provides you additional limit. And so we do have to make an adjustment for the 24-25 and 25-26 fiscal years, and an increase of $338,626 to our GAN limit. So that is what this does. The forms are attached. They're part of the unaudited actuals and will go to Sonoma County Office of Education. And that's where it.
So we're going over the EM limit by $360,000 and we go to the county to get,
No,
or
this,
it goes to the state?
it goes to the state, so as part of filing the,
What are they gonna do to us?
what are they gonna do to it? No, nothing. It's just, they just adjust the state's GAN limit throughout the whole state. Yeah, it's a procedural.
Okay. All right, resolution, so
This was not a roll call.
not a roll call vote.
No.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Human Resources. Consideration of approval of an MOU regarding short-term remote work requests. Do we have a motion, please?
So moved. I'll second.
Thank you. Great. This is kind of a unique MOU that I bring before you. We have a teacher in the West County Eye Academy for some personal reasons came forward with a request to do remote work. And it's not something that we typically have allowed. And so we wanted to be really careful about the way we crafted this MOU and work with WSCTA on this. But given the unique nature of the West County Eye Academy and that the students themselves are remote, and when the teacher is not available to them, it really does stop them from moving forward in their work. And so both the district as well as WSCTA felt that it was in the best interest of students, first and foremost, to allow this very short term, 6 days that you see listed on the MOU itself, 6 days here in the fall semester, to allow for this so that it doesn't impede student progress in the Eye Academy. So we wrote this in such a way to say this is not an ongoing thing. We don't want this request to come back on a regular basis. This is a very limited term approval, but we do feel it's in the best interest of students that we approve this short-term remote work request. So with that, I'll thank you. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Dan. Consideration and approval of provisional internship permit. We also need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All set.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, so this is one, and we brought these before you in the past, where when we conduct a search for a position, we well, obviously, first and foremost, we're looking for people credentialed in that area and so forth. With the expansion of the consortium, we do have a couple of positions still that we have yet to fill. That's really some of the only positions in our, not at the high school sites, but at the consortium, there are a couple of sites. One of them is in a brand new TKK ED classroom out on the Guerneville campus. And we have had this position posted since the spring, went all through the summer and really never were able to identify a viable credentialed candidate. So what that gives us the ability to do is identify someone who can work under a provisional internship permit, or a PIP, as they're often called. And so we have a current employee, Elizabeth Christensen, who is a behavior assistant in the consortium. She's actually working in this classroom currently, which is part of the reason we hope that this moves through CTC and gets approved, because we think it'll be a pretty seamless transition, since she's already been in the classroom working with these students in this brand new classroom with a substitute as the teacher of record currently. But we're approaching that, we're right at that 20-day mark where we want to make the transition so that she can take over the course for the remainder of the year. The 2 steps in the process, well, 3 steps. One are exhaustive search to actually try to find a credentialed candidate. Second is board approval to allow for a teacher with a provisional internship permit to teach in the classroom. And then the third is that CTC would have to approve this candidate, saying that they meet the requirements for that. And so should you approve this tonight, I will notify our contacts at the credentials analysts at SCO. They will send the application formally to CTC, and CTC makes the final determination as to whether or not this person can in fact meet the requirements to teach in this classroom. So there's a few steps to go. You approving it tonight would not automatically make it happen, but it is a required step to even send the application to CTC.
All those in favor?
Okay, I
Yeah.
do have just a comment. I just happen to know that Melissa Christensen is doing a great job there. And I've also heard good things about Summer and Trinity. I don't know their last names, who are also in the classroom. And so I'm in favor of this. And I just yeah.
Anything else, any other comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Okay, facilities measure A bond and budget project update. Jenny.
Well, I don't have much of an update tonight. We did a small tour. We're in the process of doing all our project closeouts and just planning for next summer of all things. Because we have a whole 8 months to do it, and we're already 4 months behind schedule according to my world. But I did want to show you guys the time lapse. It's a little rough. I'm not a professional video editor, and Brian did his best to work with my thousands of pictures that we had. What he told me is that I need to take about 300 pictures every week. So it's not so choppy. We have a 4-minute version and we have the short version. We're gonna watch the short version, but hold on to your seats because it's a little spinny, but it's kind of neat. Hold on, I don't want to show you, but I gotta escape out of that. Come on, computer. Okay. No, I don't want to quit the Zoom. Well, I gotta go find it. It won't let me escape. There it is. Okay. Now I just gotta go back and share. Sorry, so that people, the one person watching us from home can see it. I think I'm sharing that. Okay, there we go. Prepare to hold on to your seats.
Oh, well.
It slows down in a second.
Seriously.
I'm telling you, well, it's a drone video taking the same photos. It takes about 100 photos a week.
Great. Wow. What's the time frame starting from when?
So this started March of 25 to last week.
Wow. Okay.
So that's
awesome.
we're gonna work on making it so we're gonna work on making it just a little less choppy now that we know that we need about 300 pictures. Our contractors are kind enough to set up the drone every Thursday. We have a construction meeting every Thursday, and so we have a week snapshot. They do videos as well as the pictures, so it's kind of a fun little project to put together to see how it kind of came to fruition. Other than that, I don't really have anything to update you on.
Thank you. That's a good update. Okay, consideration of approval of a license agreement with Level 34 for filming of an informational commercial. So we need a motion.
So moved.
And a second.
I'll second.
Thank you.
I come to you guys on time to time for people who approach us regarding filming. We're listed in the registry. We're very open to having people film on our campus as long as it aligns with, board policy and kind kind of our overarching theme. This is an informational commercial that they're filming about a safety app that they've created. And this is their second time on our campus. They're not ready to launch this yet. Otherwise, I would have showed you guys the video that they shared with us of their first round when they filmed back in March. So they'll be here this coming weekend if it's approved, Saturday and Sunday, filming in the library, a couple classrooms in the main building, the East Wing, and out at the stadium. So they've also offered to have us beta test their program because their direct market is schools for this. So I'm asking for you to approve the license agreement tonight. They are going to be paying the district $3,000 for 2 days, and they'll be paying all of the overtime associated because we'll have someone here overseeing their use.
This ad is for a school safety app.
It's a safety app intended for anybody, but they are targeting schools. So it could be schools, colleges. It's supposed to be real-time, like real-time attendance, real-time panic button, for lack of a better word. They don't call it that. Real-time identifying of, hey, it's like an incident thing. So if there was, let's say, like a fight in the quad and 10 kids reported it, it alerts all the people who are on the receiving end of the alerts or whoever the lead is for that day. And it can also alert the authorities, should that be something that it's a generic app, but then if you're onboarded, it's very specific to your school or your district. And so they've been in this space for a long time and they're trying to create something that's, I've seen it already. I've seen how it's used or how it's intended to be used. And I've already given them feedback from our perspective as the end user. So they've appreciated that collaboration and they enjoy working with us.
Great. Any discussion on this?
I think it's a great idea. It's great.
All right, in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I believe we dropped the hammer. Meeting is adjourned at 7:26.
Should have been.
Right.
That's pretty cool.